Good morning, good afternoon, or evening, whenever you're watching this. Mr. Burgess here, giving a recap of today's lesson on October 3rd, 2019. First thing you need to know is that the due date for the informative essay has been pushed back to next week. That's right, not due tomorrow, Friday, October 4th. The teacher copy is not due tomorrow, October 4th. Just to give you a recap of today's lesson, what we're going to be doing, go to Google Classroom, go to the post that's currently on my screen right now. You're going to want to take a look at that, and you're going to open up every attachment except for the daily agenda. We're going to go through each of those, and basically what we're going to do is we're going to take notes, put them in the note-taking organizer, and then we're going to take notes from the note-taking organizer and put them into the body paragraph organizer. So come with me. First thing we're going to do is we'll take a look at the adoption overview article. This adoption overview article right here is straight from Gale Opposing Viewpoints Online Collection. You can see that right here. If I am doing a, if I was doing a essay on adoption, I would have put that search term in there, and this is one that I found out, the topic overview. What you're looking at here is I'm giving you the abridged version, the very fast version. So if we're taking notes here on the note-taking organizer, what you're going to see basically is this. I'm going to put the title, the author, the date, and the publisher all in here. Here's the title, adoption. Put that right there. Okay, and then that information for the source is right there. Take a look at fact number one. We're going to get that straight from the very first sentence of the article. And it basically defines adoption for us. Adoption is the practice of legally transferring care and guardianship of a child from his or her biological parents to an adoptive parent or parents. We're just going to highlight that. We're going to copy that, and we're going to paste that right here. And that makes this an exact quote. Notice that I did put quotation marks here. I did put opening quotation marks here. That makes this an exact quote. So right here, when it asks us a quote, paraphrase, a summary, we're going to bold that right there. And then we're going to put the page number, which is non-existent for this particular source. And we're going to keep on reading. When we're looking through articles, it's not necessary to read the entire article from top to bottom, from back to front, from over and over. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to use our scanning skills and look for facts that stick out. And one of the ways I like to do that is to look for numbers. Numbers usually send a red flag up that something important is coming. Take a look right here at this sentence. Today, adoption is primarily regulated by state level laws. And you can see a list of laws there and the years that they were enacted, 1978, 1980, 2000, 2000. We're going to take that particular fact and we're going to put that right here. And we're going to paste that right in there. Now, if you take a look at that fact, one thing you're going to notice is that it is very long. And because I am taking notes with the intention of writing an essay, I will always take care to look to get rid of things that I don't need. So you take a look at this long fact. One of the ways this I can see how a 14-year-old who's reading my paper might be confused by this long sentence. So what I'm going to say is we're going to, for the purposes of this, we're going to get rid of this half of the sentence and we're going to write them in our own words. We're going to paraphrase. That's right. What I'm going to put here, instead of that long list, I'm going to put children, adopted children are protected by various laws, including, and now I'm going to put a quotation mark there. No, I'm actually not. Various federal laws, including the Child Abuse Prevention and Treatment. And then we're going to list out those things. Now, is this our information? No, this information came from a separate source. So because it came from a separate source, we are still going to cite that source. And when we cite a source, what we are doing is we are going to let the reader know that we did not come up with this information off the top of our heads. We researched and we found this information somewhere else. And this is where we found it. What you're going to see here, this right here, we made a comment on this paper. And what that comment says is that this is a citation. Inside the parentheses, author, page number. If the page number is not available, then we just don't put it at all. We just put the author. Okay. And this is a paraphrase because we reworded things in our own words. Typically, the reason why you would use a paraphrase is to make something more clear for the reader. Let's take a look for another fact from the same source. Let's keep on looking. Like I said, I'm looking for numbers. Look at this data. Oh, yeah, just what I'm looking for. Data and evidence. Take a look right here. We're going to copy that. Then we're going to look for fact number 3. Go over these lines right here. I'm going to paste that fact in. Now, when it comes to this fact right here, according to data published in 2017, so on and so forth, by the National Council for Adoption, there are 110,373 adoptions in the United States in 2014, the last complete year for which data. I don't think the reader needs to know that part. So what I'm going to do is we're going to eliminate that part. And even though we quoted, we're going to replace that elimination with a punctuation mark called an ellipsis. An ellipsis is a punctuation mark that signifies to the reader that this quote does continue. There are words after this quote, and I have eliminated a certain aspect of this quote. Everything that is within quotation marks is word for word in the same order, but there is sentence and more after what I have quoted. This is an ellipsis. It signifies that I omitted and or eliminated from the whole quote to utilize this quote. Okay, so that I'm going to fix those spelling errors. And if you're getting those red lines, I definitely suggest fixing things as they come. Again, we have the same in A. We are quoting. Yes, we are. This is a quote. According to data published in 2017 by the National Council for Adoption. Now we have 3 facts. Now with those 3 facts, you know what it's time to do? Let's make a paragraph, baby. Let's go over here to this article right here, and we're going to look at the topic sentence, okay? This body paragraph, topic sentence. I'm giving you the absolute most basic, most general, most generic, worst, not 8th grade level topic sentence that could ever exist, but it does tell you exactly what the function of a topic sentence is. This paragraph is about facts on adoption. Can you do better? I hope you can do better. If you can do better, please do better. But basically, what we're saying here, when it comes to topic sentences, is that a topic sentence, the purpose of a topic sentence is to introduce the topic, no new information. The purpose of a topic sentence is to introduce the topic and preview the contents of the paragraph for the reader. Okay, that's it. It's generic and general. Now, when you get creative, you can ask a question. It's a lot like the introduction paragraph to an essay. You can do different techniques along with it. But for right now, we're just going to keep that super duper basic. I'm just showing you a bad one with the function so that you know what to do when you as you start to develop your style. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the note-taking organization. We're going to take one of those notes right here, and we're going to copy and paste that note because we're going to use it in a paragraph. We're going to copy and paste this note into this graphic organizer. This is fact number 1. Okay. And so we are constantly thinking about what this paragraph would sound like. This paragraph is about facts on adoption. Adoption is the practice of legally transferring care and guardianship of a child from his or her biological parents to an adoptive parent or parents. We do not have a citation at this point in time. Okay. And so what we would do is we would put Gale Online Collection. I believe that's what it is. And then you're going to put the period, close parentheses, and the period right there. Okay. Now, what we don't have is we don't have a setup for this quotation mark. We just have a quote just kind of sitting out there by itself. That's bad form. Okay. Instead, what we're going to need to do with this quote is we're going to have to set it up with what's called a lead in. And so according to Gale Online Collection, I'm going to and then I'm going to set up this quote for the reader so they understand what this quote means, what it means in context, and why we're using it. And again, if you can see right here in this lead in, we are telling the reader where we got the information. And because we told the reader where we got the information, who the author is, we do not have to put the parentheses at the end because we still told the reader within the sentence. This is called a lead-in. It sets up the quote for the reader and may cite the source so you don't have to do a citation at the end. According to, is probably the most common way to do that, definitely the easiest. Okay, now it comes time to translate this fact, explain this fact, connected to self-reliance. What does this fact mean? What is it for? This is where you get to tell your own words. What you're not going to do is repeat the fact. Why is this fact important? This means that if you're always looking for a sentence starter, if you're ever looking for a sentence starter, this means that, or this shows that, or if you're feeling extra intelligent, this illustrates, okay, or this demonstrates. Any of those could be good sentence starters. This shows that adoptive parents have the same legal rights as biological parents do with their children. And that's what it shows. I don't know if the computer is going to wind up showing that, but there we go. And that is going to be that's the reasoning that we're going to utilize for why we chose that fact. And we're going to pick another fact, fact number 2. Okay. And we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to take that fact number 2 from that same source. Adopted children are protected by various laws. We're going to go right here, copy. Let's get all that. Let's get all of this. Copy, and then we're going to paste right here. Now we have a fact about laws. Let's make sure when we do the transition word that we kind of keep these things in mind. We might say, in fact, or for example, or some sort of transition word that we can use. For instance, or we might say, in the same way, because we are using a comparison for similar that adoptive parents have legal rights. And now we're talking about adopted children and their legal protections. In the same way, adopted children are protected by various federal laws, including child abuse prevention, so on and so forth. Okay, so we're going to utilize that one. Why is that fact important? Okay, and why do we choose that fact? This shows that federal laws are in place to keep adopted children safe. Okay. And so right there, we are able to explain why we chose to use this fact. This will help children build self-reliance as they grow up. Okay. And then we're going to repeat that. Now, for the purposes of time, we are going to move forward. So now we're going to utilize this graphic organizer right here. And we're going to take things from this graphic organizer, 1, and then we're going to move them to the next graphic organizer. May I please be able to copy and paste that? So we're going to utilize this as a body paragraph. I'm actually going to put that right here just so you can still see the instructions. That's the topic sentence for the body paragraph. Can we paste it, please? There we go. Let's paste. Okay. And then there's the topic sentence. We're going to copy that. Oh my goodness. Come on now. Okay. Come on. There we go. And we're going to paste that there. Practice sample. Then we're going to paste that reasoning right there like this. Now, I don't know. Time might be running out on me very soon. So I want to make sure that you can see what it is that we're doing. I am going to make sure, 1, that this is all the same font. We're going to go Times New Roman 12, Times New Roman 12 size font. Okay, that's important when you turn in your final copy, that everything is the same size and the same print. The reasoning is always going to be colored red. Okay, we're going to highlight it red. Okay, and you don't need to highlight or color facts and quotes and evidence because you already have citations and you already have quotation marks around everything. So that is already set off. And then when you utilize your transition words and phrases, you're going to color those green. Okay. And so when I look at your paragraphs, I should see a colorful pattern of almost like musical. Definitely a pattern of different pieces of your paragraphs. Okay, so I'm gonna paste this right here. I know I'm running out of time, so I just wanted to show you with a quick recap what we did today in class, and this is the recap of today's lesson. Thank you very much for your time with Mr. Burgess. If you need more help, I'll have another video coming up shortly. Have a great one. Peace. And I'm still here. And I'm just going to shut this off. We'll probably cut this out at the end. All this Times New Roman 12 font. Man, these Chromebooks are slow. Okay. Come on. Okay, we have another fact here. We have another explanation here. Just like that, we're going to copy that. And then we're going to paste that right there. And when we paste it, we're going to highlight it red. And you can see over the course of the paper, I'll be able to see if you have all the pieces and if you're following the pattern to your informative paragraph. Okay, so thank you very much for your time. I guess I'm just going to keep on going until this thing ends.